Hello, and welcome to Tuesday Talks with Mom. I'm Tera Myers, and I am so glad you're here. As part of Moms on a Mission, we're empowering moms across the country to stand up and advocate for their children's educational freedom. As a mom of an adult son with Down syndrome, I've walked this road, navigating the school system and fighting for the right to choose the best education for my child. And now I'm here to share that journey with you. Every 2 weeks, we'll sit down with different moms from around the country and provide thoughtful advice and share our experiences. Together, we're building a community of moms who are finding their voices, taking action, and making a difference. Welcome to Tuesday Talks with Mom. Good evening, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us for another Talk with Moms. And tonight I have with me Becki Uccello and Gaby Ascencio, and we are going to talk all things Texas. So welcome, ladies.
Hi, good to be here.
I'm very excited to be here. Thank you very much for the invitation.
I appreciate it. Thanks for taking the time out, ladies. Well, gosh, we have so much to unpack in regards to the big, beautiful state of Texas. And Gaby, I thank you so much for coming. Why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself and how you ended up in Texas?
Well, as you said, I'm Gaby Ascencio, Mexican. I came to the United States in 2015, and I was invited to join this movement of school choice at that time in Arizona. There, I worked for more than 10 years, helping families advocating for ESAs and getting the best education options for their kids. Because of that, when there was that huge opportunity to start all this movement in Texas, I said, I have to be there. I have to be one of the pioneers in this movement, helping families, helping kids achieve their goals, and shine in the environment they deserve. That's why I ended up here at the beginning of this year.
I love it. Wow. That is awesome. Now, Texas just recently made it into the news with a groundbreaking. Why don't you tell us what it is exactly that made Texas so special?
Well, finally, the education savings account, the school choice is finally in Texas, making the biggest day no, day one program where almost about 100,000 kids will be able to apply for better education options. And we made history. The big state of Texas is finally in this movement, and now it's opening this door to thousands and thousands of families that want something better for their kids. They want different options. They want to try private schools, home-based education. It's finally possible, and it will be possible starting next year here in Texas. That's probably the greatest news we have ever heard here in the United States regarding education for our kids.
I think that's fabulous. I think parents in Texas, I remember, and Becki can probably chime in on this. I remember when the Peterson bill here in the state of Ohio got passed, and that was specifically for children with special needs. I sat on the floor and wept. So I imagine that the parents in Texas are just ecstatic. What do you think, Becki?
Absolutely. I mean, I remember in Missouri when we passed ESAs with most scholars. I mean, it was all the emotions, excitement and relief, and but probably more excitement for the families that we knew this would impact. And when I read up on Texas, I was just floored with everything that is included. I mean, what a fantastic opportunity for families in Texas. It's just so exciting to see what's going on there.
I love it. Well, Gaby, why don't you tell us and define for us what is an ESA program? What does that mean? Tell us a little bit about it.
Well, I think the most important thing, Tara, is that the ESA program will empower parents to choose the best education options for their children. That's the most important. This program will be open for kids from K to 12, and parents will now be able to decide where they want to take their kids. Do they want to keep them in public school, or do they want them to give them different options like a private school or home-based education? There are going to be state funds available for them, so they won't have to worry about getting the money, getting the funds to pay for those schools. Now the state will have these funds available for them.
I
Quick
love it.
question.
Go ahead.
With the ESAs, you said that the money is available for private school and home-based education. Is there a different dollar amount for those two routes?
That's a great question. Okay, there are going to be three different kind of funds. The first ones will be for those kids just going to private schools. The funds will be around $11,000 a year, and parents will be able to administrate it and decide how they're going to spend it. If they want to send that money to a private school, texts, books, or any educational expenses. The second option would be for kids with special needs. Kids with special needs will require more than just like a book or materials, right? They will need therapies. So they will receive around $30,000 a year, depending on what the IEP says, depending on their needs. And there will be a third group of people, those for that decide that they want to do home-based education. They will receive around $2,000 a year. With that, they can pay supplements, books, even transportation, a computer, and all the things related to their education.
Very
Well,
nice.
I have to say, with having a son with special needs, we had a tiered program for my son on an IEP for students with an IEP. And it was really a nice thing that our state legislators took a look at that. I mean, I'm really grateful that they listened to the parents, because each child, depending upon what their needs were, it wasn't just a flat base, because each child's IEP individualized, they required something different. So I love the fact that Texas is doing the same thing, going, hey, we're not going to just go, hey, we're going to bump you up and give you another $2,000. They're recognizing that kids with special needs, depending on where their level of need is, need different services. Wouldn't you agree, Becki?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think of, my daughter has disabilities, but the financial piece that she would need is very different than other students with disabilities. And so to have that, like you said, that individualized piece, that is a testament to your legislature, Gaby. I mean, that really, it warms my heart, because they obviously see that kids with disabilities have different needs, and they just want to address those and see them as students that need those specialties.
And you know what's the most incredible thing is that parents will be able to decide which therapies, where they can take their kids to, what institution or what organizations. That's the most fantastic thing. The parents have the power to decide what's best for their kids.
That's huge.
It
That's
is.
huge. Because I know here in Missouri, we have several different, well, where I live in Springfield, there are different therapy groups. And there are some that I personally think are better than others. And I think it's great when I get to make that decision. In our case, we've had to, work with insurance and all that. But it's very powerful when I get to decide, this is what I think is best for my kid.
Yeah, because at the end, who knows the kids better? The parent. The parents knows what's better for them. Okay, not an institution, or no. It's a parent said, and you can have different kids with different needs, and all of them may need different therapies or schools or materials. I mean, this is giving the parents a lot of power. It's empowering them in a great way. So I'm so excited, because now they will be able to take advantage of this program.
Love it. So another quick question. Who is eligible for these ESAs?
Well, at the beginning, it's gonna be open to 100,000 kids. Okay, they are gonna basically almost every kid, but they are gonna give a little bit of priority to the low-income kids and kids with special needs. Those are gonna be the first in the list. And once all of them have applied, if there are some open seats, there's gonna be a lottery. But I mean, 100,000 kids the first year, I think it's a big thing, and then we will be like fighting to get more and more kids in the future in the program.
Now, are there limits as far as, do you have to have attended a public school first? Are students that are in a current private school, are they eligible? What type of requirements go into that? Are you able to get into any of those specialties right now?
I think basically if you live in Texas, you will be able to apply. If you're a kid that is eligible to go to a public school from K to 12, you will be able to apply. You can switch from public school to private schools, but if you're already attending a private school, your kids will be able to apply for this scholarship. And of course, all kids with special needs.
Wow. Talk
That's
about,
huge.
it's huge. I mean, talk about
I
saying
know.
to your constituents, hey, we believe you, the parents, know your children better than anyone else. We're not going to just support one system. We're going to give you the gamut to say every Texas child needs and deserves to have a quality education in the setting and program or curriculum that best meets their needs. I mean, how amazing is that? That's fabulous. I love it. Wow, Gaby. What a time to be a Texan.
I know, yeah, you are right. I believe we are in the best state right now for the moment because this is so broad, and hopefully a lot of states can start replicating what we are doing, and we can learn also from other states what has worked for you, and make like the great country for kids. I mean, everybody deserves a great education.
That's right.
Well, and
That is right.
that's what I was thinking. Like, how many states will get to look at what Texas is doing and say, well, we can do that
Why
too.
not? Yes, exactly.
That is wonderful. Well, tell me a little bit about, you mentioned it a little bit earlier, but could you go a little bit more deeper as far as the ability of use of funds? Like what can funds be used for? Just maybe a little rundown so parents can kind of whet their palate of, hey, what can I use this for besides tuition? I mean, is it eligible for tuition?
Tuition. Of course, tuition, books, materials, a computer, transportation, among others. So basically, we would like everything to be covered, right? But the basics will be covered: tuition, books, etc. Kids with special needs, therapies, of course, therapies, a computer over there, yeah. And
Yeah,
kids with home-based education, also they will be able to buy curriculum, and yeah.
that's
Also,
awesome.
you know what, also some activities that, for example, some sports or some activities that probably public school would offer, they will also be able to pay for that.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Well, because
What about,
we know how big sports are in Texas. I mean, football, baseball, Friday Night Lights. So I'm sure parents that have their kids involved in that in public school are going to appreciate that if they switch to private or home based.
Yes, right now I have to say that the controller's office and all the team is working on all the rules and all the details. But this is in general what we know, that basically parents will be able to use those funds for all the education needs.
I love
And
it.
when do applications open, and when is the deadline to apply for this?
That's a very good question, because right now they are still preparing all the things are already in that pot and they are cooking them. But we believe and we're pretty sure that the applications will be open in early 2026, hopefully sometime in January. Kids will be able to apply. We don't know right now exactly
Okay.
how this is going to happen, but we know this is happening in January, and that most kids will be able to apply. They will need only basic things. We don't want it to be complicated. They will just need like a birth certificate, an ID, proof of residence. We don't know. We know that it's going to be easy because we want kids to take advantage of this.
Right. Now, in those regards, and Becki, I think you could probably speak to this too. So join in, if I forget something, but, I have found, at least when I was doing this and then helping parents here in Ohio, I have found that getting ready ahead of time can really, really help you. Number one, stave off the anxiety of what if I don't get in the deadline, but also to be prepared. You just mentioned birth certificates, Social Security, identification materials, proof of address, all of those things. I suggest to people always get a current copy of those things, like maybe a utility bill, into a little folder. If you have the ability to scan it into your computer and have a digital file, I think that's
Or
a
you
great
can
idea. Yep.
scan it on your phone.
Get it on your phone. I think, anything that these parents, like, what are we talking? We're in the middle of September right now. I think if parents are able to, if I was in Texas, I'll tell you that I would be already putting my shoes in the line, so to speak, and I'd be getting my packet ready, just for whenever in case. Is there anything you want to add to that, Becki? Like how to help parents, get ready? This is so excited. Like, I mean, I don't live in Texas, but I'm so excited for anybody that does right now. This is a fabulous opportunity. Is there
Yes,
anything
and
you want to add to that?
I cannot wait to share this mom talk with my Facebook friends that live in Texas, because even if it doesn't apply to them, I bet they know someone that this can apply to. But I am all for organizing. I love paper, so I have my paper copies in a folder, but I also scan everything on my phone, because you just never know where you're going to be when somebody says, can you email a copy of this? And I can be like, bam, done. So, I would say digital copies and paper copies are what have been useful to us here in Missouri. I did have a question about, in Missouri, our state treasurer's office is the one that processes the applications. Is that the same in Texas, or is it a different office? And the reason why I ask is I am on the mailing list for the treasurer's office. So anytime there's an update for an ESA thing, like we just got an update that they're going to open up applications, I think in October, so that it's a quicker process. Is there something similar in Texas? Is it the treasurer's office? Is it Department of Education?
Yeah, that's very interesting. In Texas, it's going to be the Texas comptroller. So you can just follow them, but also join our websites because we are going to be also sending some updates. So also you can join us. And Becki, you mentioned something very interesting and very important. Spread the news, right? Tell your relatives, tell your friends, tell that this is happening, because 100,000 kids for the first year seem like a lot, but it's only 100,000 kids. So we want to be the first ones in line. We have to be ready, have everything, all the papers that we will need. So get informed, so you are ready, and you are from the first group that applies for it. So you're not left behind.
And it's also very exciting to take a friend with you to everything. I don't like to go to the grocery store alone. Nobody wants to go pay their bills alone. You can always go get a coffee. So grab your friends, tell your friends if you know that they've been having a difficulty. I mean, this isn't a matter of, they're having a big sale at Best Buy. This is, hey, if you know people that have been struggling with education, or students parents, I mean, we all know them, that are at every turn, they're running into a roadblock. This is the time to call that lady that you ran into in the grocery store and say, hey, I know of something that could be coming to help you out. So that's a great idea. Bring along a friend and sign them up together and make an ordeal out of it, because this is a big ordeal.
It is. And Gaby, every time you say 100,000 students, I get piel de gallina. I get goosebumps, because I am just like, that's so many that are going to have this benefit that's going to change their lives, and it's going to change the trajectory of their families. And that's just so exciting.
And it's the future of the kids. It's the future. We have had a lot of stories of kids that are not happy, don't feel safe, or just they just don't feel happy in the environment they are. And when you switch them, when you put them in the right environment, when they are enjoying going to school, learning, they flourish and they become different people. They are happy, no more bullying. They are excited about what they are learning. So I can tell you a lot of stories about how kids can flourish and change. I mean, we are changing children's lives.
Yes, that's the most exciting thing, is that we're partnering together to make a better society and ultimately a better world as a result of the simple thing called school choice. I think it's really important, and I don't think that we should underplay that at all. Now, a couple things, you're going to have some parents, as you're watching this, you might have some questions. So I want to encourage you to jot down any of the contact information that is scrolling across the screen. You can contact me, Tera Myers, or Becki Uccello, or Gaby Ascencio, and You can email us at the links that are down below. You can follow us on social media. If we get your question in, one of us will answer your question or find the answer of your question for you. So do not be shy. Feel free to drop us an email, send out a message, a text, go on any of the social media platforms and message, because it's important that you get your questions answered. And no question deserves to be skipped over. So don't feel bad if you go, oh, I don't think anyone. No, ask it. We're all for trying to help you answer those. So Gaby, in that vein of thought process, what are some of the questions that you've already been receiving from parents that you would like to take this opportunity, as lots of parents are going to be watching? What are some things that you want to take the opportunity to share to help parents out? And then Becki and I will chime in if there's some things that we've heard.
The most common one is, when can I apply? When will it open, right? And they say, hold on, we're receiving a lot of questions like, is it ready? Is it ready? Can I apply? What are the rules? Things like that. So, and my answer is just stay tuned, right? Follow our websites, enroll so you can get our newsletter, follow the controller's office. Also, another one, who will be eligible? Basically, almost every kid in Texas will be eligible. Those are the most common questions. What school? That's another one. What schools are in this program? I would say almost every school, accredited schools, will be part of this program. They have to be accredited because they need accountability. But we are expecting almost every private school, it could be religious or not religious, Montessori, almost every school will be eligible for this.
Wow. Becki, do you want to add anything to that? Maybe some commonly asked questions in Missouri, or?
I mean, that's what I hear in Missouri. When can I apply? Who's going to be eligible? How much are the ESAs, which Gaby already told us. What was it, 7? No.
It will be about 11,000 for private schools tuition, 30,000, about 30,000 for special needs kids, and $2,000 for home-based education.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, those are the questions that I hear in Missouri. I'm sure parents all over the country, like, that's their top 3. Like, what?
Yep. When, how, and how much.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
So we're still waiting on the rules to come out in regards to how to access the funds and whether it's a reimbursement or whether it's, do you know any of those answers? I know that's some questions that I generally get.
I think so. I think the payments will be directed from the controller's office to the place you decide. It could be directed to the private school, to the vendor, etc. But we're still waiting for details.
Okay. So that's just, stay tuned, everyone. And I love the fact that they can go to getschoolchoice.org/states/Texas. I think it's really important to check into any and all access that you can ahead of time. So you, the parents, can navigate those sites and how to, like Becki, you said, sign up for the controller's office, get their updates. I mean, I think it's really important to be aware prior to. And Gaby, it looks like, based upon your information, they can send you emails and you will follow up with them and answer questions as far as how to get going in the program. So I think that that's really wonderful. And one of the things that I saw on there. Go ahead.
No, sorry, I was going to say that, yes, we will answer all the questions, whatever question you have. If we don't know the answer, we will get back to you. And another important thing, if you're so excited as we are to spread the news, let us know if you know about, I don't know, an event, a church that is having a big event where you want this word to be known by everybody. Let us know. We will be there. We will be there spreading the word, educating families, telling them about the ESAs. We're so excited that we won't stop until every single family in Texas know about it.
I love it. Well, and I was also going to say, homeschool families, this is an opportunity to really expand your children's learning opportunities and availabilities of resources. while you're doing that. I know a lot of friends here in Ohio, are skeptical sometimes. And yet they also say, homeschooling can be very difficult because maybe I can't access all the things that I'd like to. And so I love the fact that Texas has included their homeschool families and giving them options and resources as well, because that can just really, nothing's better. I just talked to a homeschool mom today who took her children to her mother's house, and they call it Nina's homeschool. And every once a month they go there, and she was teaching English, and she was telling me some of the things that they were doing. And they were learning letters and words, and they decided one of the words was acorns for the younger child. And they all went outside, and she incorporated, they found the acorns, and they incorporated math in it. They decided to figure out what their age was and get that many acorns. And she was telling me all of these things. I said, don't you love home education? I said, the kids, she goes, yeah, they don't even know they're learning, but they're learning. And I said, and there's the best part, they're remembering, and they're going to remember this lesson for years to come. So I think it's great that Texas has included all children, all families, all income levels, the whole process. So I love it. Gaby, if you were able to speak directly to parents in Texas right now, go ahead and give us one final word that you'd like to share of them, and take as long as you'd like.
If you have ever dreamt of a better education option for your kids and you believe that it was not possible, guess what? Dreams come true. And dreams are coming true here in Texas, so go for it.
I love it. Becki, if you have a parting word that you'd like to share?
I'm just, like I said before, I'm so excited for Texas. When I read through some of the summaries of this program, this is so huge. And I know from previous years, like, this was a hard fight, and kind of a long fight. And gosh, it's been worth it to see the fruit that has come of all this labor that the families in Texas have done. And congratulations to the families in Texas. It's just exciting. And I can't wait to see what other states look at Texas and say, we can do this too.
Yep, we can do it too. My final words, thank you, Becki. My final words would be, parents, this is your opportunity to collaborate with every school, any program, curriculum, type of modification that your child or other children around you need. This is your opportunity. And I'm a firm believer that when you come alongside and you don't exclude the parents or the teachers or the school of choice, and everybody works together, that we are building America's future. So Texas, I'm so excited for you. Gaby, thank you so much for the work that you do and all of your team on the ground in Texas. Becki, thank you for your work in Missouri. And everyone who tuned in, thank you so much for joining Tuesday Talks with Mom. And we look forward to seeing you in a couple weeks.